Thank you all for joining tonight and making this virtual solution for orientation work. My name is Libby, and this is my 5th summer with ACE. I got acquainted with Saturday Academy through my education background. At one point, I even instructed Saturday Academy classes for SAT prep, business etiquette, ACE cover letter workshops. And let me tell you, now my current position directing the ACE program, connecting mentors like you with motivated high school students is the best. I'd also like to take a moment and thank our operations team for supporting the webinar tonight. And tonight kicks off another great summer. This summer will definitely stand out as the height of mentor commitment and creativity. You all made an internship possible for students in a summer that they may have needed it more than ever before. There are not enough ways that I can thank you for moving forward in this COVID-19 complicated time, continuing this invaluable talent pipeline opportunity. Overall, by being here tonight, I'd like you to know that you're part of a larger community with a shared interest in guiding and training the next generation of science and technology professionals. So our agenda for tonight will share Saturday Academy's commitment to equity, review program basics and tips for best practices, including some ideas on remote internships, as well as what supports are in place for you throughout the summer. Note that the webinar is enabled with a Q&A, so fire away your questions as they come up and we can address the questions at the end of the presentation. So here's a great shot of the 2019 interns at our midsummer conference at Oregon State University. This year, 412 applicants applied for what ended up to be 62 positions. This was a complicated summer to arrange internships, and I'm grateful to all of you for finding a way to make it work. We have internships as far north as Vancouver, Washington, and south to Eugene. This selective program has been around for 31 years. So yes, Saturday Academy's ACE program has a long history. 31 years of ACE couldn't happen without the amazing support of our mentors and partners. And looking ahead, I can share something exciting about Saturday Academy's next chapter. We are pleased to announce the hiring of our new executive director, Jackie Wirtz. Jackie joined Saturday Academy with a PhD in biochemistry and having served as the Assistant Dean for Graduate Studies with OHSU. The ACE program is just one program of Saturday Academy. Saturday Academy has stayed true to its mission since 1983 when we were founded, serving over 6,000 children annually in Oregon and Southwest Washington. Saturday Academy programs, classes, camps, and apprenticeships are designed to spark curiosity and cultivate an intrinsic, sustained love of learning and exploration. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization in affiliation with the University of Portland, and we rely on financial support from grants and program revenue to provide our programs. It's because of your passion and commitment as mentors that our nonprofit works. I want to take a moment and share Saturday Academy's commitment to equity. The ACE internship is a time for the interns to establish STEM identity. We want to approach the internships with equity as the guiding principle. Interns may be fighting mindsets of you can't be an engineer or science and math aren't for people like us. We want interns to be able to believe STEM is for them. if indeed the fields are the right fit for them. Saturday Academy staff, teacher monitors, and above all, you, the mentors, are their community in this journey. Know that some students may be surrounded by false narratives outside of our ACE circle. I shared with your internship confirmation emails a link to the ACE equity training. We developed that this year. I hope that you can take a look if you haven't already. I think you'll be able to get some powerful takeaways of how to approach your intern relationship and maybe even some areas of your life outside of ACE. We created the resource of articles and videos knowing that you are busy STEM professionals. So this could be a 30, maybe 60-minute experience in total. Let's go ahead and look at some program basics. The Apprenticeships in Science and Engineering program is a summer internship for 9th through 11th graders, providing a transformational experience and opportunity in hands-on real-life careers. Typically, the internships are 8 weeks long, but this summer we're being really flexible around this usually strict requirement. The ACE program is more than the internship. Applicants get to take cover letter workshops. During the summer, interns attend 2 conferences. We provide liability insurance, disperse stipends. The ACE program supports you and the interns with site visits. Many may need to be online this year, and program evaluation led by our teacher monitors. Also, teacher monitors lead the interns in writing formal thank you letters. And the interns take this experience beyond the summer. They usually find out a way to apply the internship for school credit. They use their experience for science fairs, for getting published. A bit more on the other events. Note your intern will not be able to work on these dates: Midsummer Conference, Thursday, July 9th, Symposium, Friday, August 14th. I am shifting these events to be online this summer rather than in person. My priority has really been to get the internships going. So I'm working out the exact details of how the conferences will work, and I'll be in touch. Midsummer Conference this year, we'll be able to offer seminars on college preparation and instruct the students on how to get ready for the symposium in August. And then the symposium is a special day that interns can make formal presentations on their internship summer. I predict this will be in small groups online. As we discuss the next topic of mentor expectations, please know that there are quite a few resources that you can find on our current mentors webpage, and I'll share the link for that in just a moment. So what are the expectations of mentors? Primarily to provide professional learning experiences. Interns will gain professional skills while building confidence and autonomy. I can share a quote from an essay that I read recently. It goes, one of the beautiful things about science is that it allows us to bumble along, getting it wrong time after time and feeling perfectly fine as long as we learn something each time. No doubt this can be difficult for students who are accustomed to always getting the answers right. This ACE summer is so good for our students. Thank you for leading them. Looking to safety and training, for those internships that can be on site this summer, you'll really need to make sure they have the personal protective equipment and training that they need. We want to think also of something you might have heard before, the rule of 3 with minors. Basically, avoid situations where you are alone with an intern. Ideally, there are 2 adults present. And if that's not possible, at minimum, inform another colleague that you have plans to spend time alone with the intern. You also want to make sure to have a safe and inclusive environment. And I'm, of course, talking about physical safety, but also emotional. In that emotional space, do some work to let your intern know that it's safe to share a new idea or express confusion or ask questions without judgment when they're with you. Communication is a big one. Have a plan, create and track goals. A great tool is the mentoring plan template that you will find in that resources section on the website. Think not only about the project that the student will be doing, but also what other interactions and experiences they might have during your time together. This tool can help guide conversations with your intern, and feel free to adapt this as your own. It's for you and your intern to communicate, so make it what you need to be. Goal would be to try to meet at least weekly, and if issues arise, please address them quickly, and remember that you've got your teacher monitors to help as well. As far as workspace and tools, on site, that could mean a workstation, computer access. This summer, we're really getting into some remote positions. So, what does tools mean? It might be technology, internet access, software. So if you haven't already, really try to ask and not assume that students have what they need to be successful, and know, that they know how to use the technology that you're offering. Also, include the students in the community. This might be tougher this summer. So thinking through, is there a standing staff meeting that they could join? Could they set up some informational interviews with colleagues based on the intern's interests? Is there a way to set up a speaker series on Fridays, or even suggest your favorite TED Talks, or share upcoming lectures that would be interesting to the intern. And that way they can hear more about career options. So here's the link for where the mentor resources are located. You're going to want to look on the tabs on the left and select additional resources. You'll find the mentor expectations document, the mentoring template, and more. So some best practices to think about. You're going to want to start off, and many of you have already been in this conversation as the interns approached you with their calendars. So thinking about the schedule, the expectations. And you're probably going to need to get a feel for where the students are in terms of their skills, and set and manage expectations. And that'll be a huge help in making the internship go smoothly. Particularly with the remote internships, you're going to want to set ground rules. What are the digital expectations? When should a student be available on email or other channels? You realize that some of these students check their emails once a week, and that's just not going to work in the workplace. So set them straight. What are and when are the scheduled check-ins going to be? How can you try to make those consistent? Give due dates. All these simple structures will make a big difference for the interns to succeed. And I'm not talking about reinventing the wheel. You may have existing work from home guidelines at your place of work that you can just apply to the interns. Or perhaps a first assignment could be having the intern write best practices for working at home guide, and then your whole workplace could use it. Make your intern feel welcome, and make efforts to build rapport. In the remote version, can you have regular face-to-face check-ins? on whatever platform you have access to, because the connection and relationship on a regular basis keeps us all engaged, not just interns. I came across a recent survey of college students, and it gauges how the COVID-19 outbreak has affected their upcoming internship opportunities. I know this is a slightly different age group than the ACE interns, but fairly close, so I thought it would be relatable for our program. Some of the top findings from the survey included 35% of the students learned that their internships would be canceled, and 24% were informed that their summer internship would be virtual. Of the students with virtual internships, 67% shared that daily check-ins with their manager, just 5 to 10 minute daily check-ins would be great. And so those are just maybe stand-up meetings you already have in place. And then maybe having a longer meeting once a week. And then 72% share that they do prefer the video conferencing to maybe a phone call or instant messaging. Becoming an ACE mentor means that you also get the benefit of many other mentors' experience that have been with the program. The ACE staff and your teacher monitor are people that can help funnel the collective learnings to support you. And we are all going to have new learnings this year because we're taking a deep dive into the remote internship model. So what should you expect from ACE? Well, the Saturday Academy staff, they'll support quality program and experience. We're a point of contact in the event of an emergency. We'll organize the conferences, disperse stipend payments, and provide liability insurance and documentation to schools. Teacher monitors, I keep mentioning them. Most of them are teachers and counselors, and they work with us in the summer. They provide support to the students around program logistics. They'll conduct 2 site visits, and this year those may be online. But the site visits and interviews with interns and mentors, and those teacher monitors will contact you to get those scheduled. The teacher monitors, when appropriate, will take photos if they are on site. They'll coordinate the thank you letter process with the students. They're basically a resource to interns, mentors, and myself. They'll assist with events like symposium and are generally available if issues arise. So we've covered our commitment to equity, program basics and tips, and your supports. So I'm going to take a look now at what questions I can answer. And if questions are still coming up, let us know. Okay, I have a question here. Are all internships required to be done remotely this year? And, you know, I'm seeing quite a range. I have some mentors that have been really creative and they've converted the project to work remotely, and they're going that way either out of preference or perhaps the host organization is still not open and all the employees are still working at home. I just spoke with a site today that they are opening. They're implementing physical distancing and really strict, you know, around cleaning and health checks. So that's a variation that they'll be open and the intern will be invited in. And then I've got places in between that they're going to start remote, and then upon the building's opening, if appropriate, they're going to bring the intern on site. Okay, so I guess the bottom line is we are leaving it up to the institutions. And then, you know, of course, we need to be considerate of the interns and their parents' feelings of being comfortable coming on site. Then I've got another question, great question here. What flexibility are you allowing for the program this summer around the hours, around maybe the timeline? A lot of flexibility. All of these internships are miracles. This is such a tricky summer. So, you know, if a mentor is in a situation where their project just is not translatable to be remote and you need to wait for your building to open, so be it. If a student gets a 4-week, 5-week internship, that's still a wonderful opportunity for them. And then, you know, maybe the hours are going to be different for your site based on the COVID-19, and employees might be trading off to try to keep the numbers low in the building. So really, whatever is working for you, the ACE program will approve. And then I think the teacher monitors will be really helpful in thinking through what a good situation will be. I'm also hearing about mentors that are, you know, in the downtime, waiting for maybe a building to open, assigning the students, reading training manuals, doing, you know, getting through the onboarding, badging processes, doing anything to kind of keep them engaged while, if they need to start a little bit later. I have a good question here. How would you recommend getting to know our interns remotely? It is going to be a little bit harder. Probably one of the biggest tools that you have is, you know, any type of Zoom or Teams type of platform, so you can be face-to-face. I think that's going to be big. And possibly, you know, we're very busy in this time, but setting aside some time that you might just talk with the intern outside of getting onboarded to the work, and really learning a little bit about, you know, what you know, just who they are. And then that might be a good transition into, you know, going ahead and finding out their expectations for the internship, and you sharing the same with them. I actually know one mentor in particular who sets up time to have a cup of tea. And so, you know, if that's something you could fit in at the beginning, or, you know, a few check-ins, that might be lovely. But we all have our own ways and time that we can share. Okay, how will site visits work for labs that are remote? I do think that quite a few of the site visits will need to be remote as well. So that might be setting up some type of Zoom meeting. And that's just what we're going to have to do this year. And I also shared with the teacher monitors that I want them to feel safe and comfortable. So between what the mentor has decided about remote versus on-site, between what the host organization, open or closed, and then the teacher monitors sort of level of comfort, you all can kind of negotiate the best way to conduct that site visit. I'll have to come up with some new clever term for it this year. Okay, and then another question, how many hours a week are the interns expecting to work? This program is advertised as 8 weeks full time. So that's going to be about 40 hours. And again, I want you to do what works for you this summer. That's primary. And then I will share that what this intern population is famous for is actually working too much. So that might be something to monitor, you know, making sure that they're taking care of themselves, taking breaks, eating lunch, and getting some time for themselves, and not just constantly working. So that's something that I think as adults, we're still teaching ourselves, but something that we want to, you know, share self-care with the interns. These are great questions. I'm getting kind of towards the end of them, but I'll wait just a moment to see if something else comes up. Okay. And also, you know, if we part ways and you think of a question now or all the way through the summer, remember you can always email me libby@saturdayacademy.org. This summer as a mentor with ACE, you are deeply touching another person's life. You're creating meaningful connections as well as building technical and employability skills. And I'll share that when I offered internships to students this summer, as usual, they were ecstatic to be placed. But this time around, it was a little bit different. Everything has been canceled on these students. And to have this ACE internship experience move forward just means the world to them. By the end of the summer, you'll share technical knowledge and training, and you'll be helping the interns start their professional network. And you might share your stories of how you're figuring it out with STEM and life. And be sure to listen to your interns because they might be sharing their hopes and dreams with you. So with that, I can say thank you and have a great summer.